Okay, so the calendar is flipped to December, and we are just constantly bombarded with those, high-gloss images of perfect snowfalls and these stress-free, joyful family gatherings.
Right.
But for so many of you who are currently supporting a loved one with a serious illness, this time of year is not about less stress. It's uh, often exponentially more overwhelming.
That tension you're talking about between the expectation and the reality, that is precisely what the materials we gathered for you really bring to light. I mean, caregiving is a full-time, emotionally demanding role to begin with.
And the holidays just layer on top of it.
Exactly. They layer extra pressure onto that already shaky foundation.
So the mission of this deep dive is, well, it's sharp and it's simple.
Ah,
We need to find the specific gift of relief for those families. We're going to go deep into the concept of respite care within the hospice structure.
okay.
We need to understand not just the mechanics of the service, but, why its benefits are so dramatically magnified when holiday planning, winter weather, and all that family emotional stress collide.
And when you look at the research, they position this service as one of the most critical supports a family can get during this period. At its core, respite care is it's defined as short-term, temporary relief for the primary caregiver.
Right.
And the logistics are key here. The loved one temporarily moves into a safe, comfortable, approved facility and receives continuous 247 care from professional medical staff while the primary caregiver is away.
That emphasis on structured, round-the-clock professional support seems like the crucial differentiating factor, doesn't it? It's not just, finding someone to watch the patient.
Oh, not at all.
It's about maintaining a seamless high standard of medical and compassionate care.
That's it, exactly. When we talk about 247 care in this context, we are talking about highly skilled professionals, registered nurses, nurse practitioners, hospice aides.
People who can manage the complex stuff.
Yes, people who can manage complex medication schedules, adjust pain management protocols on a dime if they need to, and handle personal care with dignity. The loved one remains fully supported and surrounded by clinical compassion, even when the family steps back for those few crucial days.
Okay, so now we've established that structural difference. Let's
Yes.
talk about that holiday pressure cooker. We know caregiving is hard, but why does the Christmas season specifically break people? What's the unique juggling act?
The demands of 247 care don't pause just because the radio starts playing carols, right?
Not a bit.
What we see from the analysis is that the caregiver's mental checklist just explodes. You are still responsible for daily physical care, emotional support, but now you've layered on holiday planning, coordinating visits from often far-flung family members.
Well, the travel logistics.
The logistical nightmare of travel, yes. And that intense emotional stress specific to trying to make this the best Christmas possible, potentially for the last time.
It's the cognitive load, isn't it? It's not just the physical act of, say, wrapping gifts, but the mental energy required to coordinate when the wrapping happens, who is coming over.
When the patient is even comfortable enough for visitors.
Exactly, and navigating all the emotional landmines that come with seasonal family dynamic.
Absolutely. One source put it perfectly. It said the mental energy needed to maintain the illusion of a normal holiday on top of severe caregiving duties is just unsustainable.
And the result is what?
The inevitable result of these compounded pressures is the rapid acceleration of caregiver burnout. The holidays, they often magnify existing stress levels, pushing the primary caregiver past the point of simple fatigue into genuine physical and emotional depletion.
So if that burnout is the inevitable endpoint of this holiday juggling act, the materials argue that the answer isn't just about surviving Christmas. It's about making a strategic investment in relief.
It has to be strategic.
Respite care seems to directly address this by providing necessary physical rest and emotional recovery, connecting back to that core problem of making sure the patient continues to receive high-quality support while the caregiver takes a legitimate restorative break.
Precisely. It allows the caregiver to step away without compromising that commitment to excellent care.
Let's transition then into the strategic solutions the research lays out, the four main pillars of holiday relief that explain why using this specific service during the Christmas season is so beneficial.
Right. And these pillars, they move beyond just the logistics and really tap into the profound emotional needs of the entire family unit.
The first pillar is incredibly practical, but it's also deeply meaningful. Maintaining family traditions. This is about getting to be a family member again, rather than just a nurse or a coordinator.
Yeah.
It allows you to attend specific seasonal activities without that pervasive, constant anxiety of leaving your loved one unattended or, scrambling to find some temporary non-professional help.
Think about the moments that really define the holiday season for you. Perhaps it's attending a midnight religious service, or traveling across town to watch a grandchild in a school pageant.
The little things that are actually the big things.
They are. It might be the only time of year the entire extended family can gather. Respite care makes these vital activities possible. It restores a sense of normalcy and inclusion, allowing the caregiver to participate in their own life and their family's life.
Which is essential for emotional balance.
Absolutely essential.
I find it fascinating that the research points so strongly to the emotional heart of this issue. That brings us to pillar 2, which I think is extremely sensitive. Emotional well-being, specifically replacing guilt with peace. We know that seeking help is often fraught with immense guilt. How does temporarily handing over care genuinely replace that profound sense of obligation with peace?
Caregiver guilt is one of the most powerful, silent struggles in hospice care. There is this underlying feeling that you should be the one doing everything, especially during a time that's associated with warmth and familial dedication.
It feels like a failure.
It can feel like a failure or a selfish choice to admit you need help.
It's that feeling that you are abandoning your post.
Exactly. But this service reframes that necessity entirely. The reason respite care replaces guilt with peace is structural. It's because the caregiver knows their loved one isn't just being watched or temporarily neglected.
Right.
They know they are safe, comfortable, and actively supported by professional nursing staff who specialize in this level of high acuity care. It reframes the whole decision. You are not taking time away from your loved one.
You're taking time for them, in a way.
In a way, yes. You're taking time to ensure you are healthy enough to resume your responsibilities later. It's an act of long-term responsible caregiving.
That clarity, knowing the patient's care level, remains superior to what you could possibly provide while you're exhausted. That has to be the key to unlocking that emotional peace and accepting the break.
Absolutely. And that leads directly into pillar 3. Quality time. The benefit isn't just the time the caregiver spends away, it's the quality of the interaction when they return.
Oh, this is a huge point. Let's really dig into this contrast. What does unquality time look like during the holidays for a burnt-out caregiver?
It looks like physically being in the room with your loved one, but mentally you're running through a checklist of tasks, Did I adjust the pain medication? Is the wound dressing clean? I still need to make dinner for the family coming over tomorrow.
You're physically present, but emotionally and mentally you are completely absent. You're just consumed by the mechanics of survival.
That's it. Whereas if you've had those 5 days of respite, you come back with the energy to focus on the small, meaningful thing. You can sit side by side watching a holiday movie or simply hold their hand and talk about old Christmas memories without the urgency of the next task just hanging over you.
That ability to step out of the doer role and back into the loved one role is, it's priceless.
It is. It allows for genuine, meaningful moments during what may be a limited period of time. It lets the family connect on a human, emotional level rather than just a task-oriented, logistical level.
And if we connect that restored energy and renewed focus to the bigger picture, well, that gives us the 4th pillar, strengthening long-term care. This brief break isn't just a temporary fix. It's a structural necessity.
Research consistently shows that respite care strengthens the caregiver's ability to continue providing that high-quality care well into the future. Restoring energy and emotional balance during the holidays prevents a premature crisis that might force the patient into long-term institutional care later.
So it's preventative.
It's preventative health for the person giving care. Utilizing respite strategically allows families to stay at home for longer overall because the primary caregiver is supported and not continuously depleted.
That covers the powerful why. Now let's get into the necessary logistics. For someone listening considering this, maybe they have family coming in next week and just need the house cleared or simply need a break. What are the practical implementations? What does the service actually look like on the ground?
Right, let's demystify the process. As we mentioned, it typically provides up to 5 consecutive days of short-term inpatient support.
And that 5-day window is pretty standard.
It is. That specific duration is designed to allow adequate recovery time or, sufficient time to attend a major out-of-town event without rushing the family back.
And crucially, where does this happen? Is it at some generic facility, or is it integrated into the hospice system they're already in?
It's totally integrated. It is provided in an approved, designated inpatient facility that could be a hospice house, a dedicated unit within a hospital, or a skilled nursing facility that contracts with the hospice agency.
So it's a known environment.
A known type of environment, yes. Safe, calm, and most importantly, stacked with dedicated 147 medical supervision by professional hospice nursing staff who are already familiar with the patient's specific care plan.
Okay, and what about the coverage? That's always the immediate question when you're talking about specialized medical support that involves room and board.
And this is where the hospice benefit is so critical. For patients already enrolled in hospice services, respite care is covered under Medicare and most private insurance plans that include a hospice benefit.
And what does covered really mean here?
The coverage is quite comprehensive. It explicitly includes the room, the board, and the round-the-clock medical oversight during that respite period. It's covered because it's deemed medically necessary to support the entire care plan and prevent caregiver collapse.
That sounds encouraging, but let's clarify some of the jargon. You mentioned hospice benefit guidelines. What does that mean for you, the listener? Are there limits on how often you can use it?
That is an important question. The hospice benefit, whether it's through Medicare or private insurance, is structured relief. So it ensures that these temporary stays fit the established medical and necessity guidelines.
Meaning the relief is needed to manage the patient's symptoms or support the caregiver.
Right. And while the 5-day limit is typical per occurrence, the sources confirm that families may use respite care more than once. There's not a single lifetime cap.
So you can use it again if you need to.
Yes, it can be used whenever the need for temporary relief arises during the holidays, for major medical appointments, or specifically when the caregiver is experiencing burnout and just needs that mandated break.
And we have to emphasize the service continuation aspect. Your loved one doesn't lose access to their full continuous plan of care just because they temporarily relocate.
Absolutely not. They continue to receive the full level of hospice support. This includes necessary pain management adjustments, personal care, and all the critical emotional, spiritual, or dietary services they were getting at home. The care simply shifts location for a bit.
And the research highlights that even though this is a temporary stay, the facilities really make an effort to maintain the spirit of the season for the patient. Things like holiday-themed activities, comfort measures, optional chaplain visits.
All of that is often included. It reinforces that the care remains holistic, focused on quality of life, even during the family's absence.
That attention to detail has to be essential to the peace of mind component.
It is. Knowing the patient is still receiving compassionate, high-level, human-centered care is what enables the caregiver to truly, truly rest.
So, if the service is available and covered, and it provides this critical piece, how do you know if it's the right time to ask for it? I imagine the instinct for a lot of caregivers is to wait until they are completely at the breaking point.
Which sort of defeats the purpose of restorative rest. Yeah, that waiting until crisis mode is the common mistake, and the research is very clear in its recommendation. There is no wrong time to ask for help, and the goal should always be proactive use.
So what are the signs?
You should consider respite care if you're starting to feel physically or emotionally exhausted. If you need specific time to prepare for Christmas gatherings, shopping, or decorating. If you want to participate in a seasonal event that is important to your mental health.
Or if you're trying to balance caregiving with work.
Yes, or if you simply need a few days to reclaim your own identity outside of the caregiver role.
The core message here is reinforcement then. Seeking this specific type of structured support is consistently framed, not as a failure, but as a sign of strength, not weakness.
100%.
It's proactive self-care for the long haul, ensuring the patient benefits from a refreshed and sustained caregiver.
Indeed. The ultimate benefit is that it allows the family to shift focus during the holidays. Instead of the season being defined by stress, by task management and exhaustion, it becomes an opportunity to create a more meaningful, connected, and emotionally supportive experience for the whole family.
It allows the season to be about warmth and love.
Yes, to truly be about warmth, love, and togetherness, even in the midst of a serious illness.
That shift in perspective, from viewing the holidays as this overwhelming task to seeing them as an opportunity for genuine warmth, is such a powerful insight, and it's made possible through plan support.
It's all about managing that expectation versus reality, and knowing you have a medical framework in place that allows you to fulfill both the promise of continuous care and the need for your own personal renewal.
So if seeking respite care strengthens your ability to care long-term and provides peace during what is inevitably a stressful season. What other caregiving duties throughout the rest of the year could be transformed by proactively seeking temporary structured support?
That's the question.
That's the question worth mulling over. Are you viewing support as a last resort, or are you viewing it as a necessary strength-building investment?